Thanks for joining us on ntTV Nightly News. I'm Isabella Quintanilla.
And I'm Madison Myers. We begin tonight with developing news from Duncanville.
A Texas high school basketball powerhouse has been hit with punishments from the University Interscholastic League, better known as UIL.
ntTV Sports anchor Brandon Brunworth has more on the story.
The UIL State Executive Committee has just ruled that the Duncanville boys basketball team must forfeit all games played in the 2021-22 seasons, including all postseason games, as well as their 6A championship game. This comes as a direct result of a suspended athlete playing for them throughout the season. Head coach David Peavy has also been given a 1-year suspension, and the boys basketball program has issued a 3-year probation period, not including the playoffs. Meanwhile, the head coach for the girls basketball team, Legina Howard, has also been suspended for the rest of the school year, and the team has been banned from the playoffs for this year. This comes based on an alleged recruiting violation. ntTV checked in on Duncanville's website in the past hour for any comments, but so far nothing had been posted. More on the story to come as we receive more information. Back to y'all ladies at the desk.
Thanks, Brandon. Well, Isabella, we have some exciting news for those trick-or-treaters tonight.
That's right, Maddie. The weather is absolutely gorgeous outside today, and it's making me want to go trick-or-treating.
Me too, Isabella. Let's check in with our weather anchor, Ryan Cantrell, to see what we can expect for the night. Ryan?
Well, guys, I can definitely tell you there are not so frightening numbers we have for Denton tonight. Currently, it is 72 degrees with chilling right at 70 for our heat index. We have very calm winds to the southeast at 3 miles per hour under partly cloudy skies. On to tonight, we'll see mostly cloudy skies with a cool 64 degrees with a chilly 59-degree feeling temperature, and those winds will not change. Now on to tomorrow, it's going to completely clear up. Sunny skies all around, 70-degree actual temperature, heat index of 68, and those winds will increase to 6 miles per hour. That's all I have for this Halloween forecast for tonight, but stick around for my full weather forecast as I talk about what's in store for the first week of November here in Denton. Back to you guys at the desk.
Thanks, Ryan. With the weather feeling as good as it has, doctors are still fearing a severe season for respiratory syncytial virus infections, or RSV. But there is some good news tonight. 4 vaccines are nearing review by the FDA to treat these RSV infections. A dozen others are in testing right now, and in recent trials, these infections seem to be 75% effective when heading off these infections. Now, this is very good news as RSV infections were the leading cause in infant hospitalizations in the U.S.
Now, I know one thing is for sure, the flu season is definitely not stopping any kids from going trick-or-treating this year. We take it to Annabella Reza now to get more on the spooky trunk-or-treat happening in the Denton area.
Thanks, Isabel. I'm here at the Trunk-or-Treater event with hot dogs, sweet treats, and fun games all around. Ryan is here. He's one of the organizers. Can you tell me how this all started?
We got together with a bunch of local businesses, and everybody sponsored a little bit, and got a safe place for the kids to come and trunk-or-treat.
Can you tell me some of the sponsors? Who are they?
On the Road Again Record Service, MS Squared, Hannah's Off the Square, the Denton Spider-Man, and Hot Box Barbecue.
I see some of them. They're all pretty cool. With a lot of costumes all around, do you have a personal favorite?
I'd say the big dinosaur, but there's a lot of good ones.
There's a lot of good ones. Speaking of costumes, we have a costume contest starting at 6:30. Right over here, we have one of the contenders slowly getting ready for their big event. Right here, we have one of her moms. Can you tell me how long does it take to get her in the costume?
It takes about 10 minutes, but it's about 2 minutes to inflate total.
Why did you choose this costume? It seems really fun.
Because it's so humongous and you can just roar at everybody, and it's funny to walk and you go like rah, 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 rah.
It is really fun. Now, what are some of the events that are you're enjoying at the Trunk or Treat?
Some of her favorites have been the balloon animal. They made her a little dragon, and it's just been great because she's been able to play with some of the younger kids.
Well, the costume contest again will start at 6:30. There will be the Trunk or Treat continuing until 8 p.m. A bunch of things are happening. However, with all these pumpkins around, where are the jack-o'-lanterns, or how were they made? Kyle Ower will give you the ghoulish history while I stick around at this spooktacular event. Back to you, Kyle.
Thanks, Annabelle. The famous jack-o'-lantern has been a staple of Halloween tradition for over 700 years. But they weren't always made out of pumpkins. Can you guess what they were originally made out of? Isabel Medi will have that answer for you later in the broadcast.
Wow, Isabella, I had no idea there was such history behind the jack-o'-lantern. Any guesses about what they used to be made out of?
Well, I am no jack-o'-lantern expert, but I'm gonna guess maybe squash.
Maybe that's a better guess than I would have. I guess we'll just have to wait and see. Halloween isn't just about jack-o'-lanterns, it's also a time for costumes and candy. A recent study shows that this year's Halloween spending is well in the billions. The people spending this money might surprise you. Catherine Cullen has more.
Inflation and recession fears not scaring away trick-or-treaters this spooky season. According to the National Retail Federation, Halloween spending could reach a record level this fall.
They're planning to celebrate in more ways than they did during the pandemic, but they may be a little bit more budget conscious.
The NRF says 69% are planning to celebrate this year. That's up from 65% last year, and 1 percentage higher than 2019. The NRF expects Americans will spend $10.6 billion this year, despite soaring prices.
We know that inflation is certainly top of mind for consumers, but what we're hearing so far is that people are still prioritizing the holiday.
The NRF says consumers plan to spend an average of $100 this holiday. Costumes are the biggest expense at $3.6 billion, followed by decorations at $3.4 billion and candy at $3.1 billion. The NRF also says younger consumers, Gen Z, are celebrating more than any other age group.
Consumers under the age of 25 are turning out in full force. About 87% say they're planning to celebrate the holiday this year, and we're seeing the highest levels of spending in areas like adult costumes that we've seen in about 5 years.
Now that COVID-related restrictions are easing, they're more comfortable partying, going on bar crawls, and attending social gatherings. The NRF says they're also putting a focus on dressing up this year.
They're getting inspiration from TikTok, from Instagram, from Pinterest, and other social platforms.
For today's Consumer Watch, I'm Jen Sullivan.
A week into early voting, the numbers are looking a little different than expected.
And even elephants are getting into the Halloween spirit. We bring Boo at the Zoo to ntTV News tonight.
Near Sanctus Spiritus.
I've got a good feeling about this one.
Hey, Maddie, miss me?
Wait, Bud?
What was that all about?
An old friend.
An old friend?
Good to see you, brother.
What the hell are you doing?
That's your lucky day.
The fight to ensure equal access to a good education has been an ongoing issue in this country. Today, the U.S. Supreme Court began hearing arguments in 2 cases that challenge viewing race-based qualifications in college admissions. The policies being challenged are at Harvard and the University of North Carolina. Michael Perchik has the story from North Carolina.
The energy stemming from the pit, where seniors Julia Black and Joran Biggs, leaders of the Black student movement, gathered with friends. They've been following the challenge.
Studies have shown that standardized testing is racially biased towards Black and Latino students particularly. And so if you're being judged merely on grades and standardized test scores, which have already proven to be based on both race and class, then clearly that's not race-blind admissions.
They point to the importance of diversity in the campus community, fostering an environment more representative of society.
In order to have that diversity that makes more valuable the educational experience, you need to have information about just who it is that that's seeking admission into the institution.
That belief, backed by UNC Chancellor Kevin Guskowitz, who shared in part, our nation needs the next generation of leaders to be ready to participate in our diverse democracy by thinking critically, embracing differences, and forging common ground. The case revolves around Title VI of the 1964 Civil Rights Act, prohibiting schools from receiving federal funds from racial discrimination. It also claims the university's practice is in violation of the 14th Amendment, which guarantees equal protection of the law. Kenny Hsu is an author in Raleigh and on the board of Students for Fair Admissions, the group that filed the suit.
We're trying to eliminate race-based discrimination here. No one should be surprised that we're trying to make a more colorblind country where race is less of a factor in our country in admissions, promotions, and hiring.
Hsu first became involved in challenges to Harvard's policies, alleging they were discriminatory to Asian students. That school also set to appear in court Monday.
Using a new form of racial discrimination to make up for the past racial discrimination is not only unfair and unnecessary, it's also unconstitutional.
The most recent justice on the High Court is Judge Ketanji Brown Jackson, who graduated from Hargy Rescued herself from the case. She will hear the North Carolina case.
Tonight, the man accused of attacking Paul Pelosi in his home has been charged with federal counts of assault on the immediate family member of a federal official and attempted kidnapping. This man, 42-year-old David DePape, has been charged in the beating of Nancy Pelosi's husband. She is Speaker of the House. Police say the man had zip ties, tape, and rope along with the hammer he used to attack the 82-year-old. DePape broke into the house while Paul Pelosi was asleep. This incident is causing increased concern about the safety of public officials during this very divisive election cycle.
Meanwhile, early voting in the midterm elections started last Monday, and millions of Americans have already cast their vote. Here in Texas, we are ahead of the game. Nearly 3 million people have already cast their ballots. Overall, nearly 21.5 million Americans have voted. The election will be held on Tuesday, November the 8th, but if you want to get your vote in early, you have until Friday night, November 4th, to make your voice heard. Make sure you exercise your right to vote.
Well, it should be a nice week for voting. Hopefully, the nice weather encourages everyone to go out and vote.
That's right. Let's check in with our weather anchor, Ryan Cantrell, to see what the forecast is for the rest of the week. Ryan?
Well, guys, there's really nothing much happening in terms of weather, like severe weather, but currently behind me we have the Apogee camera up with our beautiful golden hour image. Not much to see here. There's not much wind. We can see one mil just slowly trucking along, but we have mostly cloudy skies with some sun about to set, making for a gorgeous evening on Halloween. But it is going to be a good night tonight because really all of North Texas is going to experience very comfortable temperatures, all in the low 70s. We have 72 in Denton and McKinney, Dallas is at 73, Fort Worth is at 72, 72 in Stephenville, and 71 out there in Graham. Now across the state of Texas, we're actually not going to see much of a difference. Again, all in the low 70s. Houston's at 74, Austin's at 77, Shreveport is at 73, Amarillo and Oklahoma City and El Paso are all out there at 71 degrees. And now let's take a look at our 7-day forecast for the week. First day of November actually, Tuesday, is looking completely clear with comfortable temperatures, high of 76 in the low 50s. Wednesday will be pretty much the same. Now the action doesn't really start until Thursday night where a cold front's going to blow through. High in low 70s, 76 for Friday. I'm giving it a 90% chance of rain on Friday. Saturday, we're going to still see some of those clouds linger on, maybe even some rain early in the day, but it should clear up for the rest of the night, high of 67. And then Sunday, Monday, we're going to see those sunny skies return. That's all I have for my full weather forecast for this first week of November. Back to you guys at the desk.
Thanks, Ryan. Now, I don't know about you, Maddie, but I'm still dying to know what jack-o'-lanterns used to be made out of.
Me too, Isabel. I've been thinking about it this whole time. Let's go to see what Kyle has for us out at the Trinity Methodist Pumpkin Patch.
Thanks, Maddie. So earlier I asked you all, what was used as the original jack-o'-lantern? Well, if you guessed squash, then you are absolutely wrong. Because in fact, the the original jack-o'-lantern was originally carved from turnips, potatoes, and beets, and were far more terrifying than the ones you see today. The original look was intended to keep the mythical dark spirit of Jack of the Lantern away from their homes. Once Irish and Scottish immigrants came to America, they realized all the pumpkins were so simple to carve, they became the norm for the jack-o'-lanterns you see today. The Trinity UMC Pumpkin Patch has been a tradition since 2012, starting off the season with 5,000 pumpkins. So it's a great place to get that perfect pumpkin for that perfect jack-o'-lantern. Thank you so much for stopping by. Back to you all at the desk.
Thanks, Kyle. Now I kind of see why everyone thinks jack-o'-lanterns were a little scary. Now I know everyone loves to go to the zoo, and this Halloween season, the Fort Worth Zoo held their annual Boo at the Zoo event. Our own reporter, Mauricio Ortiz-Segura, had a chance to visit the Fort Worth Zoo this weekend and see what all the excitement's about.
Hey guys, I'm here at the Fort Worth Zoo's annual Boo at the Zoo event, where the Fort Worth Zoo has put on its own Halloween costume and invited its guests to put on their own costumes and join it in the festivities. This Halloween celebration has been bringing people back to the Fort Worth Zoo for years now.
This is my 10th consecutive year.
This will be my 4th year doing Boo at the Zoo.
Maybe 10 years, I'd have to say.
When asking the entertainers who help bring this event back from the dead every year what their favorite part about it is, they had this to say.
When we have these huge crowds of people, I love it. The kids get all excited, and we just have fun.
Well, I love Halloween, so I always love putting on a show. We have free reign of picking the show, decorating, and so I think that's probably the best part, is we get to make it all up ourselves.
With that in mind, I went to go check out what the zoo had to offer. I went trick-or-treating with the free candy coupons and bag I got, had a thrilling conversation on why I should care about frogs and toads, considered a career change, ate a sausage on a stick, and the minute I heard about the backwards kooky carousel, you know I had to get on that as soon as possible. The zoo had so many bone-chilling events, I got a little turned around, but I always managed to find myself back to the animals.
I had to bring my wife out here to come see Brazos the elephant when he was first born. And so I think elephants are probably our favorite.
In the reptile exhibit, there's always been this really big Komodo dragon I ever got to see. And every year I make sure to come and see the Komodo dragon. That has to be my favorite part.
I would say things like Kenya, our serval that you saw, and more of our bigger animals, showing that off to people, animals they don't normally see here in Texas or the United States. I think that's our biggest draw.
Not only did I see a wide variety of animals, I also saw a large array of costume wearers from people of all ages.
I already got to see other Demon Slayer characters, so I'm just wandering around to see if I can see any more.
How's it feel to see your fellow, people just dressed up, all over?
I love it.
Boo at the Zoo definitely gave me the spooks, but in a fun way. The Fort Worth Zoo clearly wants both its animals and visitors to have the best possible time this haunting season. And frankly, I can't wait to come back again next year.
If you couldn't catch this event last week, don't worry, because the Fort Worth Zoo does this every year. And if you're a Halloween and animal lover like myself, then you'll definitely want to mark this down in your calendar for next time around. Now, prep for the Mean Green Homecoming game is underway all week long. Stick around to find out how you can get involved.
And if you think you know Halloween, UNT has just the place to put your knowledge to the test with gifts and prizes on the line.
Hey man, are you okay in there? You look terrible. Have you been up all night? Don't you know that according to the American Academy of Sleep Medicine, staying up all night can have a negative effect on your GPA?
Sleep?
Yeah, go to bed.
Imagine it's ice cream day at the office. And everyone from the day before voted for their favorite flavor. Everyone but you. You decided not to vote. The flavor they picked isn't the one that you wanted. But can you really complain? Shh! Now imagine that with an elected official.
Choose not to vote, choose not to be heard. Get registered today.
What's the most famous Harry Potter movie? Well, if you know the answer, you could be a big winner in UNT's Halloween Trivia Night. Let's go to ntTV's Crystal Prentice for more. Crystal?
Tonight I'm here at the Mixed Greens Trivia Night. Come on out and participate to have a shot at winning some prizes. The prizes include gift cards, stickers, and snacks. The event will be held from 7 o'clock p.m. to 8:30 p.m. tonight at the Union, room 385. Mixed Greens is an organization for students of different ethnicities, interracial relationships, and transracial adoptions. The organization also gives students the opportunity to celebrate and support diversity on campus, whether or not you identify as mixed. So come on down tonight and meet the organization and have an opportunity to win some cool prizes. That's all I have for today. Back to you at the desk.
Thanks, Crystal. Halloween isn't the only exciting event this week. UNT homecoming events are happening all week long, ending with the football game on November 5th. Don't miss out on all the fun events such as the Yell Like Hell competition on Wednesday, the Travel Bash movie and game night on Thursday, and the Bonfire Pep Rally on Friday. Finally, on Saturday, Mean Green Football will be playing FIU. For more information, check out the UNT homecoming schedule online. No, I'll be joining on all the fun, and I hope to see you all there.
Well, Isabella, the Cowboys are now 6-2, which is pretty good for halfway through the season.
That's right, Maddie, and I'm just hoping it stays that way. Our sports anchor, Brandon Brunworth, has more on what we can expect from the Cowboys for the rest of the season. Brandon?
That's right, ladies. The Cowboys continue to roll as they head into their much-needed bye week. I'll tell you all about that and more when we return. Don't go anywhere.
Listen to my flow, to say some H2O. This my water rhyme, and this is how it goes. First, turn off the sink and take some time to think. When you waste water, our supply shrinks.
Like, bruh, what do I
Take
do
a
here?
shower, not more than an hour. Shoot for 10 minutes and save water power. Use a reusable bottle, smart like Aristotle. Ditch all the plastic and be a role model. And that was my H2O flow. Please remember how it goes, because if you don't, Earth will go, oh no!
Sorry. Oh, sorry, man. Oh, sorry.
UNT is more than 125 years in the making. To find new solutions, we create a new point of view. We know what's possible when creativity, originality, and independent thought converge. We're ranked a Tier 1 research university. We're home to excellence the size of Texas. Define your future at UNT and soar to new heights.
North Texas had a complete game effort for the first time this season as they dominated Western Kentucky 40-13 on the road. The Mean Green offense was awesome on Saturday with 536 yards of total offense. But perhaps what was more impressive about the game was the defensive side of the ball. Holding the league's top scoring offense to just 13 points with a shutout in the second half. UNT is now in sole position of second place in the Conference USA and one game back of UTSA, who they just had a heartbreaking loss to last weekend. They're going to now try to make a late season push to earn a spot in the conference championship game. UNT, of course, plays their homecoming game this Saturday versus FIU at 3 p.m. Make sure to come out and get loud to support our Mean Green football team. The Cowboys beat the Bears 49-29 yesterday and are now also in second place in what looks to be a stacked NFC East division. This was one of the most amount of points scored by any team this year so far, surprisingly enough. And this bye week is coming just in time for the Red Hot Cowboys to take a much needed break. Now that Dak is back in the arsenal, Tony Pollard showed out as well, stepping into the starting running back role and scoring 3 touchdowns with 131 yards on just 14 carries. The defense, however, gave up the most points they have all season, which included 240 rushing yards on the ground. They have to be better in that department, but as I said, that can be solved by getting everybody healthy during this much-needed bye week. The team prepares to face off against Aaron Rodgers and the Packers in 2 weeks. The World Series now heads to the city of brotherly love for 2 games, with the series tied at 1-1. Houston had a 5-0 lead in both games, but could only manage to split with the Phillies, who scored 6 unanswered runs to win Game 1. The Phillies have yet to lose at home during this postseason, so the Astros can expect a wild and hostile environment tonight at Citizens Bank Park. The first pitch for today's game is at 8 p.m. Eastern on Fox. That's all for sports. Back to our lovely ladies at the desk.
Thanks, Brandon, and thanks for joining us here on North Texas Television for this spooky show.
That's all we have from us. Let's take it back to Kyle one last time.
Well, everybody, I think I'm all set here, so good night, North Texas, and have a safe and happy Halloween.